Hello everyone, I'm making this quick guide to answer questions I see almost every new player ask, so you can get the most out of the game when you're starting out. The game does do a really good job of teaching you what you need to know, giving you all the information. Most of it you can find in the game. But yeah, it's going to be a bit overwhelming because it's a new MMO. There's going to be so much information. So I'm going to go over the 4 questions that I see almost everyone have. Number 1. I finished the main story and it says the next story is unlocking in such and such hours. What does this mean? Well, the way the game works is that the server has its own time-gated progression. During the first 2 weeks of Season 1, new things get unlocked every day that the server has started. Later this slows down to once every week or 2 weeks. For example, on day 2 of the server being up, chapter 2 of the story is added. On day 3 we get more story and a new dungeon, and then after a few weeks the dragon raids will be added, master modes will be added, and this means everyone can progress at a similar rate, even if they can only play a couple of hours per day, or they can't play every day of the week, and you miss a few days. As long as you play a little bit here and there, and spend your time efficiently, which I will talk about a bit later, it will not be that hard to keep up with the newest releases. Honestly, this aspect of the game is one of the things I like the most. It's not just the top 1% of sweatiest gamers and whales who spend massive amounts of money doing the latest content. Even casual players can participate in the newest content if you know what you're doing and you're spending your time sort of efficiently, or take advantage of the ways the game gives you to catch up. So at worst, you'll be doing things a few days after other people, or like a week after other people do them. Yeah, when they come out. But this still means that everyone is playing the newest and shiniest content together. And you don't have to worry about missing out on the newest things that were added to the game. And I'll go over ways to catch up really fast or just increase your gear score quickly in the 4th question. If you want to see what new content is coming in the upcoming days, there is this handy preview window that tells you what has been unlocked and also tells you times and dates for the upcoming content and features, so you know what's coming. You can also see some of these times if you go to the dungeons and check what times the next dungeons unlock and so on. So another question that gets asked all the time is, how do you get the floating or super dash ability? And you will often hear people say you'll need to climb up this huge tower in the middle of the field to get the dash. But there's a much easier way. First, you need to complete chapter 1 of the main story. This will give you a lot of new quests, including some purple guide quests that will teach you about things in the game and unlock new features, give you talent points to spend on your talent tree to upgrade your talents. And a couple of these quests uh, will tell you to go talk to Irona, for example, boss hunt and new talents, new trials. And when you've done these quests to talk to Irona, you will get a quest called Terra Resonance, which is colored like orange. And if you follow this quest, you will get the gliding and super dash way more easily than just climbing up the whole tower by jumping. And there's a little extra tip in here, which is if you press your basic attack button while gliding with Q, you will go into a sort of flying mode where you can cover really long distances really quickly. And here I will just show the rest of the quest sped up a bit. And here you'll get the super dash up here. You'll be able to use it to break this wind barrier that you find. All right, on to question 3. To change class, you need an item from the free orb store called Heroes Radiance, and you get a free one by completing a quest chain here. The first quest is called Only the Sea Breeze Knows, and then the next quest is called Purple is the Purple of Melancholy. I'm speeding it up a bit here. And the third one is called Grey is the Grey of Lies. And then there's also a one called Red Something, and finally it ends with a colorful ending. In this quest, you can choose to mix some drinks, which is a pretty fun minigame. But after all these quests, you finally you get a cool badge for your profile, and you get the quest to obtain your free new class change item. Question number 4, what's the best way to get more ability score? So it's about how to catch up, how to increase it quickly. And if I went over every way to increase your ability score to the maximum level, we'd be here for an hour, 2 hours. So I'm just going to rapid fire some ways in case you only have limited playtime or you just want to increase it quickly for whatever reason. First off, the main progression cycle of the game comes from doing dungeons. Normal mode dungeons and the daily unstable realm dungeon will get you quite a bit of progress, especially early on. Quick little bonus tip here, you can queue for the unstable realm and other queuable like normal and hard modes just by going into the party window, finding the dungeon, and using the matchmaking there. And when you still need purple gear, this is the way to get it. The real progression comes with the yellow gear. Trying to get the yellow gear in every slot, upgrading it. And to get this gear mostly comes, you can get it from world bosses, but the main way is hard mode dungeons and later higher item level. So item level 60 and 80 gear will come from master mode version of the dungeons. But for now, you just want to get yellow gear in every slot. Start getting yellow gear in your slots, you need an ability score of about 3.9k for the first hard mode dungeon, and higher item levels for the later ones. And of course, a really important step is to reforge your gear to upgrade the perfection, which unlocks another extra stat and makes all the stats higher, and also to refine the gear, which upgrades the slot, and the refinement level enhancement levels stay even if you change gear or change classes. If you're not there yet, you can get this by leveling up your character from the main story and your dailies, upgrading your skills, and upgrading your talent. And if you're still not there, you need to figure out some ways to get purple gear by running normal modes, getting shards from world bosses, and then buying the purple gear from the vendor. Also, a little bit of info on the world bosses themselves. You could open a menu here. You could find the elites, which drop a purple imagines, and the materials to craft and upgrade them. The world bosses themselves are over here. On this tab is the rewards you can get if you use one of your daily keys, which you get 2 per day. The main thing will be the imagines, as well as these crafting materials, and you use these to upgrade and craft the imagines, to equip them and use them. There's also these drops, which you get even if you don't have the key. You have a small chance to get a piece of loot, but trust me, this is a very, very low chance. The ones on the left spawn every whole hour, and the ones on the right spawn every 30 minutes past the hour, basically. So that might help you find them. And if you go here to the tracking button, it just shows you where they are. And if you press this button, it takes you to them as well. Okay, so I made this chart to show what item level you need for each dungeon and what drops from each dungeon. And you're gonna go starting with hard mode Goblin at 3.9k. You're gonna get the yellow gloves and earrings. Then hard mode Tina at 6k to get the yellow head and neck, and so on. And if you get some pieces extra from world bosses, that's just great, because it lets you skip those pieces in the dungeons and lets you progress faster. And I highly recommend on world bosses that drop the loot from dungeon 4 and 5, so the bracelets, the feet, and the charm. But the drop rate from world bosses for equipment is unbelievably low, so I would mostly just focus on world bosses for getting those imagine drops that you also need, and the shards in case you still need them. Right, so that's all the most commonly asked questions answered that I've seen since the closed beta started, and I really hope this helped you figure this game out a bit better, and I hope you enjoy your time in Star Resonance in the coming weeks, months, or maybe longer. See you around, and good luck!